Hi, I'm Jodie Sarani, and this is a squat stand video tutorial for the Total Gym. The first thing you're going to need to have is the squat stand accessory. It's inserted at the end of the machine in these two holes. It's very simple. Just make sure that it's inserted all the way and that it doesn't move in or out. And you'll be ready to start your workout with the squat stand. So the squat stand accessory is necessary for any workout that you want to do on this machine involving a squat, which is to work out your legs, your thighs, your calves, the hamstrings, and even to a degree the glutes. The other thing that you're going to need to think about is whether or not you want to use barefoot or put on some shoes. I like to work out barefoot on the machine because then I am able to articulate through my feet, through the joints, and land more softly. But if you have any foot issues, you might want to wear some sneakers doing these exercises. One of the reasons that doing squats on the Total Gym is really good idea is that you can progressively make these squats more difficult as you raise the machine up the column. So let me just demonstrate how you would. So at the bottom, it's the easiest because you're working just pretty much flat on the ground. There is very little resistance. Gravity is not working against you. Remove the safety pin. Pull the pin out on the side and raise the machine up as many levels as you want. Make sure it clicks into place. Replace the safety pin. And now the exercise is going to be a little bit more difficult. The higher you go, the harder it is. The first exercise I'd like to demonstrate is called the sprinter's start. Straddle the machine, put your hands down onto the glide board. Make sure you don't put them underneath on the rails. Just knuckle down even if you like. Put both knees down onto the glide board. And then position your working leg about in the middle of the squat stand. The working leg is going to extend, and you will then drive yourself up the rails. So big breath in, exhale, push. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you push up. You're working your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, and your core as you suck in your belly button into your spine and push. Do about 8 to 10 reps as a beginner. And again, remember that you can progressively make this more difficult as you raise the machine up the column. The next exercise is the basic squat. Put your hands onto the glide board so it doesn't move. Scoot all the way to the end of the glide board and push yourself up until you can put your feet onto the squat stand. It's easiest to make sure that your rear end is at the very end of the board so that when you lay back, your head is comfortably positioned with enough space above your head. You can, if you have long hair, make sure your hair is not going to get caught on the rails as the glide board moves up and down. Stand and bend your knees. Lay back comfortably. Try not to arch your back. Press it into the mat here. Hands, don't let them dangle on the floor. The best place to put them is right on top of the glide board, next to your hips. Take a big breath in, exhale and press. This exercise works the quads. Do about 8 to 10 reps here for a beginner. More if you like to do a little harder workout. This exercise can be altered or progressed by doing single leg squats. Move your foot to the center of the glide board. Go ahead and take one foot off the squat stand as you bend your knee. Big breath in and exhale. This is a single leg squat. Remember to always do both sides. If you're doing one leg, switch legs and do the other side also. The basic squat can be progressed into a plyometric exercise, which involves jumping. Plyometrics are an exercise that demands power and helps train your fast twitch muscles. So in a basic squat position, you start here. Look down and make sure your feet are positioned about hip distance apart on the squat stand. Lay back, big breath in, exhale, push with the ball of the foot. Now, if you're not sure where your feet are going to land, take your head off the glide board here and watch your feet as they land. Make sure that you land with your feet on that squat stand. Once you get the feel of where your feet are going to go every time, then you can lay your head back and rest it on the glide board as you continue to work. And because I'm barefoot, I'm able to control the softness of my landing. The idea here of the soft landing is to land and bend the foot and the ankles and the knees each time I touch the squat stand. Basic squat can also be changed to what's called a skiing squat. It's plyometric because it involves jumping, and it's also a power move because you're pressing your entire body weight up and down the rails. Take a big breath in, bend the knees, press and bring the knees up, and land at a diagonal. The knees are turning, the hips are turning. Every time you land soft. And you can make this harder by bringing your knees up a little higher to your chest. You can remember to watch your feet land if you're not comfortable yet with using this accessory. But as you get more comfortable, you won't have to watch. You can just lay back and let the legs do the work. This involves a lot more core than the basic squat because you're turning the knees and hips, so you're engaging your abdominals a little bit more. Squat stand accessory can be used to work the calf muscles of the leg. Start off by sitting at the end of your glide board. Put your feet onto the squat stand and go ahead and lay back. Make sure you're in a good position so that when you extend your legs, your body is nice and comfortable on top of the glide board. Now just look down where your feet are and move your feet until the ball of the foot is on the squat stand, but the heels are hanging off. Move your feet so they're about hip distance apart, and now you're ready to start the exercise. You're working the gastrocnemius and the soleus, which is part of the calf muscle complex. Take a big deep breath in, let the heels drop below the level of the squat stand, and as you exhale, press the ball of the foot into the squat stand and lift the heels up. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. As you press the heels into the air, think about articulating each joint of your foot. And do about 8 to 10 reps or more, depending on how hard you'd like to work out. The squat stand can be used with the cables to create compound exercises. Let me demonstrate how to attach the pulley onto the glide board. There's a little loop on the pulley and a hook underneath the glide board. And you just slide that loop onto the hook, and now it's attached. Grab your cables by the handles and then knuckle down and have a seat. Put one hand through each handle. Scoot all the way to the end of the glide board and lay back so you're comfortable. First exercise I'm going to demonstrate is called the squat with a pullover. So get yourself in good squat position, feet are hip distance apart. Suck in the belly button to support your core. And as you exhale, you're going to pull your arms over your head and straighten your legs. Big breath in, exhale, and push. Inhale, bend your knees, do the squat, exhale, push. The hands come right by your sides in a lat pullover. You're exercising your latissimus, which are the big muscles of the back. You're exercising your deltoids, and you're also using your quads for the push. This can be a plyometric exercise if you push forcefully, or it can be a very nice slow controlled exercise if you use a little bit more power through the arms and the legs. Take yourself with your arms over your head, palms out, knuckles up. Bend your knees, feet are hip distance apart on the squat stand. As you take a deep breath in, you're going to exhale and bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down to your sides. You can come to shoulder height, so you're doing a basic gymnastics rings iron cross, or you can bring them all the way down by your sides and all the way up, which kind of looks like you're making a snow angel. So inhale, exhale. You're using your lats, you're using your deltoids, your core is engaged, and you're also working the quads and a little bit of your calves as you point the toes. Flexibility is a really important part of being fit. After you're done exercising, you should always stretch. The squat stand accessory can be used as part of your stretching routine. Go ahead and have a seat on the glide board. Lay back until you're comfortable. Put both feet on top of the squat stand and extend your legs. Now you're going to get your foot, the right leg, I'm going to use the right leg. You put it in the middle of the squat stand and you bend the knee right here until it's about 90 degrees. The other foot gets crossed over the top of that thigh. Lay back, take a nice deep breath in, extend the leg. As you exhale, press that bent leg out to the side and bring yourself all the way down those rails until you feel a really nice deep stretch through your thigh and glute area. This is a piriformis, hamstring, and glute stretch. Hold the stretch as a static stretch for about 30 seconds on each side, or at least 20 if you're a beginner. To get out of this stretch, just go ahead and extend the leg. The next exercise, the next stretch that you can do is the hamstring stretch. It's a straight leg stretch. For those of you who aren't that flexible, you can always put a towel or a strap around your foot and reach for the foot, or you can bend your knees and keep your knees bent. So, putting one foot in the middle of the squat stand, lay back, big breath in, exhale one leg straight up. Grab the leg behind the thigh or behind the calf. Never behind the popliteal fossa, which is the back of the knee, because you have neurovascular bundles, blood vessels and nerves go running back there, and you don't want to press on that area. So point the toe up to the ceiling. The bottom leg can be straight, but if you're not that flexible, you might have bent joints. You're still going to get a really nice hamstring stretch right here. Hold this static stretch for between 20 and 30 seconds each side. Big breath in, exhale the leg down. The next stretch that I'd like to demonstrate is for the back. Go ahead and sit up and scoot the glide board down a little bit so you're about in the middle. Put both feet up on the squat stand and reach the toes until they're about unlevel with the edge of the squat stand. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale over the top, and reach for those toes. Now, if your legs are hovering off the glide board and that's not comfortable, go ahead and let them rest on the glide board. Again, inhale, exhale. You can reach for the toes or reach for the top of the glide board, squat stand, and stretch. You can do one side of your back or the other side of your back by reaching for the opposite foot, or you can do the entire back stretch by reaching all the way forward. If you're not that flexible in your hamstrings, you can bend your knees and reach forward. You'll still get a good back stretch. You'll get a lat stretch too, but it's just modified. A really good quadricep stretch using the squat stand involves laying on the glide board, pressing it up the rails until your body can fit comfortably on the glide board. Lay your head down, ear touching your arm. Stack your hips one on top of the other. Put one foot, the bottom leg, in the middle of the squat stand. Big breath in, exhale, grab the top of the foot and press the hip forward. Keep your body in good alignment. This stretch is really great for the hip flexors. The hip flexors is part of the quadricep complex. It crosses your hips and your knees. This stretch is really great for the front of the hip, right here. You hold this static stretch for between 20 and 30 seconds. And don't forget to do the other side. Another hip flexor or quadricep stretch can be done using the squat stand just for support. And the glide board helps you get a little deeper into the stretch. Straddle the glide board, hold on to the squat stand, put one knee down on top of the glide board. The other foot is planted firmly into the floor. Your knee and your ankle are in line with each other. The back leg, the one on the glide board, is the one that's going to be moving. Take a big breath in, standing nice and tall, engage your core. Exhale and slide the leg back behind you. That stretch is really, really deep stretch. It allows you to lean forward if you like, or to stay up nice and tall, depending on how flexible you are. But you're going to get a really nice stretch to the hip flexor. Let me demonstrate on the other side for you so you can see how far back that leg goes. Remember, good alignment on the front foot, ankle and knee lined up. The other leg just slides down the rails right here. And you stretch. Hold the stretch for between 20 and 30 seconds as a static stretch. If you want to make it a dynamic stretch for part of your warm-up, you can move it back and forth. And you never hold a dynamic stretch for more than about 10 seconds. It's just a warming up stretch at that point. But holding it right here is a static stretch for the end of your workout.